Yes, Mr. Tibbet, is it? Yes. Good morning. My name is Mr. Oscam. Please have a seat. Yes. No need to be nervous, Mr. Tibbet. You asked for this appointment with a supervisor, a financial assessment supervisor with Simon and Talbot. Well, that's what I am. What can I do for you, Mr. Tibbet? Mm-hmm. 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 Well, that is rather unfortunate news, Mr. Tibbet. I'm genuinely sorry that you lost your job, but I'm a little confused as to why you asked for this appointment. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Well, Mr. Tibbet, isn't it a little early for that? I mean, yes, our records do indicate that you've not made a payment this month, but our repossession specialists do not get activated unless one of our patients misses 3 months of payments, and you've only missed one. I mean, Mr. Tibbet, I'm sure you'll find another job. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Yes, yes. I can see how that could be an issue, Mr. Tibbet. Yes. Well, if you think it would be extremely difficult for you to find a job in your particular field of expertise, there are other jobs you could take. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, you could be a Stafford driver. Many of our clients, patients, work for Stafford. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, those other two rideshare platforms got bought out by Stafford. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. So you used to be a Stafford driver, and it was an unfortunate incident with a customer that led to you, well, losing the ability to see out of your natural eyes. And that's when you came to our company, and we provided you with prosthetic eyes. Yes, yes, yes. You went for the basic model. Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, the basic model, as you know, functions as regular, ordinary human eyes. We do have deluxe models going from 1 to 4, but number 4 is usually reserved for very, very wealthy clients, the top 1%. But I'm a little confused, Mr. Tibbet. Is there a problem with your bionic prosthetic eyes? Have they been malfunctioning? No. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. And because of that, you were able to find a job, finally, in your chosen field of expertise, and you've been doing well. Well, yes, I understand. Oh, I see. So even though it was an accident, the company you worked for blamed you and terminated you on the spot. I see. I see. Have you consulted with an attorney? Mm-hmm. 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 Well, Miss, Mr. Tibbet, I am very sorry to hear that, but that has nothing to do with us. And I can see you're very nervous and upset, but again, our repossession specialists have not been activated. No one is going to come after you to repossess. Well, technically, I guess it would be your eyes, but since you're still making monthly payments, we actually own them. Mr. Tibbet, Mr. Tibbet, please calm down. Mr. Tibbet, no, Mr. Tibbet, I did not say that we own you. We do not own you. We do not own any of your natural organs or body parts, but your eyes were badly damaged due to that very violent Stafford rideshare customer. Again, very sorry you encountered that, but that had nothing to do with us. We provided you with a pair of prosthetic bionic eyes that work just like human eyes. And quite frankly, we improved your vision. You have 20/20 vision. Now, you didn't have that, did you? You had 20/30 vision in one eye and what was it? 20/50 vision in the other eye? Yeah, that's not good. So we gave you a pair of brand new eyes that gave you better vision than what you had before. And you sat down with one of our adjusters and came up with a payment plan. Now, I don't understand why you're upset. When you're done with your payments, which will be another 7 years, then you can continue using your eyes free and clear. No problem. It's like financing a vehicle. When you're done with the final payment, you can do whatever you wish, but until then, we do expect payment. Now, I understand you lost your job, and that's very unfortunate, but that doesn't mean you can stop paying on, again, technically your eyes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, Mr. Tibbet, hold on. I think it's a little too early for that. Like I said, you've only missed one payment. I don't think it would be a good idea for you to uproot your entire life and try to run away. Well, Mr. Tibbet, please keep in mind our repossession agents, they have a 98.6% success rate. Yes, sir, Mr. Tibbet. I mean, you're not likely to outrun them. And quite frankly, Mr. Tibbet, the ones who do usually make it, they're the ones who decide that they'd be better off. Well, it's a terrible thing when someone decides to terminate their own life. Yes, Mr. Tibbet, when someone chooses to do that, then it's not as though our agents can recover the organs. But Mr. Tibbet, listen, I can help you. There are alternatives. Yes, Mr. Tibbet. Well, I thought you'd be happy to hear that. What's that? Oh, no. I'm sorry, Mr. Tibbet, but that is not an option. No. Your payments do not go on hold until you find a job. It just doesn't work that way. We still expect you to make payments. Well, we know you don't have a job anymore. However, you can borrow money from family, friends. Well, Mr. Tibbet, you are going to get a certain percentage of, well, since you were fired with cause, I guess you don't qualify for unemployment insurance. You could apply for welfare. Yes, Mr. Tibbet. You could apply for welfare and then send us a reduced payment, and we would extend the terms of your contract. There is some flexibility. Well, yes, Mr. Tibbet, I realize that welfare doesn't pay nearly enough and hasn't kept up with the rate of inflation for the last 30 years. Well, no, Mr. Tibbet, a small amount such as that simply will not do. No. Now, you see, Mr. Tibbet, that is not the right attitude to have. Seriously, you are not going to escape our repossession specialists. And quite frankly, since you're telling me that you're seriously considering running away, I have no choice but to activate them early. I mean, you still have 2 months, but you're telling me you seriously want to run away from your adult responsibilities, Mr. Tibbet. And unfortunately, I have a duty to the company to let my manager know what you've told me in this meeting. And then it's going to be his decision whether or not to activate our repossession specialists or agents. And quite frankly, my manager, he does things by the book. Well, no, Mr. Tibbet, they're not just going to tackle you, tranquilize you, and cut out your eyes. Of course not. Well, they're going to find you. They're going to tranquilize you. They're going to go to one of our repossession safe houses. They're going to take you along. They're going to call a local ambulance. That's right. They're going to call a local ambulance crew. They're going to wait until the crew shows up. And then they're going to remove your eyes. The ambulance crew will then try to stabilize you, take you to the hospital, and that will conclude the contract that you have with us. Well, Mr. Tibbet, you could try reapplying for a new pair of eyes with one of the two other companies that operates in this city. But the truth is, Simon and Talbor, the one I work for, has the best rates. The others, I'm sorry, but you wouldn't even be able to afford their basic eyes. Well, yes. And that's assuming that they even approve you. If you have a repossession on your record, I mean, it's going to be one hell of a hard time trying to get approved for bionic prosthetic eyes from one of the two other companies. It really is. Your best bet is to come up with the money and pay us. But, I mean, you do have a couple of other options. No, Mr. Tibbet, options that don't include doing irresponsible things such as trying to run away from your adult responsibilities. Well, Mr. Tibbet, if you make a partial payment this month, I can speak with my manager and we can try to see about reducing your monthly payments while extending the number of months that you would pay. And of course, if you find, yes, sorry about that, Mr. Tibbet. We're having some repair work done in the building. Yes. Well, like I said, Mr. Tibbet, we are the least expensive out of the 3 organ transplant companies out there. Yes. Yes, our maintenance staff is not the highest paid, but we pass those savings on to you, our customers and patients. But again, Mr. Tibbet, like I said, if you make a partial payment this month of at least half of what you owe this month, I can take that and show my manager that you have made a good faith payment, and that way he can adjust the number of months that you would have to pay off. Well, yes, Mr. Tibbet. Well, we can extend it up to 10 years at most. Yes, we can do that. Mr. Tibbet, I'll be frank with you. Obviously, you don't want to lose your eyes. Obviously, you don't want to wake up in the hospital blind. I mean, I understand that you lost your job, but how are you going to find a job when you don't have a pair of eyes? Well, no, Mr. Tibbet, it doesn't work that way. Mr. Tibbet, I'm assuming you read the contract. We sent you a digital copy as well as a physical one, and the physical copy was sent certified mail that required your signature. So, Mr. Tibbet, you know the terms of your contract. No, Mr. Tibbet, we cannot remove one eye and have you make half payments for 7 years. It doesn't work that way. No, Mr. Tibbet. Well, Mr. Tibbet, you signed a contract for 2. We cannot just simply remove one and have you make half payments for 7 years or the original term of your contract? Well, because, Mr. Tibbet, even though we can physically remove one, we don't make any prosthetics that could be placed inside your eye. And the rate of infection, trust me, Mr. Tibbet, you don't want to experience that. Mr. Tibbet, it's up to you. You can make a good faith payment for this month. I can go speak with my manager, let him know the situation with your job status, and he can extend the number of months and reduce the amount you pay every month. Well, Mr. Tibbet, in order to cover this month, you could go and get a payday loan. I mean, as long as you pay us. Well, no, Mr. Tibbet, I'm not telling you to put yourself into debt in order to pay for your eyes, but let's face it, you're not an elderly man. I mean, you can find another job, maybe not in your field, but you can find another job. And once you do, you can make regular payments. This is just a temporary thing to get by. Because let's face it, Mr. Tibbet, you really don't want one of our repossession specialists removing your eyes. You really don't want that, Mr. Tibbet. Now, what do you say? Good. Good. I'm going to schedule a follow-up appointment for next week. That's the earliest I can pencil you in. Go to the Payday Loan Center, get your loan, make the payment. After you've made the payment, come see me, and we'll work out what needs to be worked out so that you get to keep your eyes. Yes, sir, Mr. Tibbet. You have a good morning. Yes. I think my coffee is cold.